Okay, so tonight's webinar, as you can see there from the slide, the first slide it's all about building your customer base. And this is one of a series of 8 webinars that I run. You can see them there, starting last week and the week before, really just about getting started in your first few weeks. And this is kind of carrying on from that, building your customer base. And then next week and the week after is more about the team building side of the business. So how to get started on team building, how to support your new team members and so on. And then the last 3, 6, 7 and 8 are kind of probably the most important things in the business, because to be honest, once you've learned how to put a catalogue out, once you've learned how to show somebody else the business, you know all of the skills that you need to know, all of the knowledge, if you like, is there. But what stops you building a huge business is yourself. When you look in the mirror, are you nervous about speaking to people? Do you get, you're not sure about putting your catalogues out? Maybe you're not feeling so well one day or something. So your attitude, a bit of personal development can make a huge difference to your success. So 6, 7 and 8, there's 3 sections on that because it is so important. And now, as I said briefly at the beginning, these are all recorded. So I know there's a few of you guys here just said you've only just started. So if you want to look through the getting started and the first 4 weeks webinars, you don't have to wait a month till we get round to them. I'll show you at the end of this where all of the recordings are. So if you wanted to go and have a look at last week's one or the week before, then you can certainly do that. But this week we're going to be talking about your customer base. So I'm going to explain, especially if you're new, you might have an idea of what a customer base is, but I'm going to explain and expand on that a little bit. I'm going to just start off by kind of asking why customers order from you. Why would people buy from you rather than going down the local Asda or supermarket or ordering stuff from Amazon or whatever? And I'm going to explain a bit about customer bonding and building a relationship with your customers and how important that is. And the result of this, and it's really not complicated, it's just kind of going through some easy things frequently and consistently and persistently we talk about. The result of all of that is a base of loyal customers who will order from you over and over again, which is fantastic. So, let me just ask the people now. I know some of you guys have only just started, so you may not even have your first customer yet, but can I just ask people to just type in on the chat box there, how many customers do you have? So these are, a customer is somebody, I would say, who has ordered from you at least once. Anybody want to share with us how many customers you've got? 6, John, well done, that's a good start. 300, Amanda. Dave Trowell, about 1,000. He basically delivers around the whole of Kent, I think. Katrina, 1,000. Sean, 700 online and 200 catalogues, fantastic. Keel started 3 hours ago, fantastic, good start, mate. Sue, 250. So I think that's fantastic. It really gives you a great idea there. Everybody starts off in exactly the same position as Keel. We start off with 0 customers. Maybe our mums promised to order from us or something like this. And Carol, yeah, Carol again, only just started. So we all start off with 0. And what you then do, and I'm going to show you what we do then, is start to find people who want to order from you. So let me kind of explain how your first few weeks and months are likely to go. And this is true. The slides that I've got here primarily talk about the catalogue side, but I'm going to kind of introduce the Facebook side, the online selling side as well, because I know a lot of people are joining just to do the Facebook side and then maybe do a bit of catalogues alongside it. So when you first start off, and we've already seen 2 great examples there, Keel and Carol, you start off with 0 customers. And each week, what we recommend is that you deliver 200 to 250 catalogues a minimum to houses near where you live. If you've got more time and you want to get your catalogues out twice a week, so you're doing 400 to 500 catalogues a week, then you're going to build your customer base much quicker. And maybe you'll get 20 orders from new customers, and it varies a lot. Some people will go out, put 200 catalogues out, just get 1 or 2 orders. Other people will put them out and they'll get 10, 15, 20, 25 orders. And it doesn't really matter at the beginning, because at the beginning you're kind of starting to build your rapport. The important thing is to get those catalogues out. And so if you do that each week for 4 weeks, I'll talk about months here, but it's kind of 4-week period. at the end of your first 4-week period, the end of your first month, if you've been picking up 20 orders or so from new customers each time you put your catalogues around to different houses, then you'll have 80 customers by the end of your month. Now, as I said, this is very much an average, so if you get to the end of your first month and you're thinking, oh crikey, I've only got 50, or oh gosh, I've got 100, then don't panic. This is just to kind of represent how it goes. So everyone starts off at different speeds, and these are just averages really. But then in your second month, you go back to delivering the catalogues back to all the houses that you did at the beginning. Now, you will not deliver catalogues. So if there was somebody who kind of threw the catalogue away and said, oh, I don't want any more of these catalogues, please don't deliver any more, then obviously you'd cross those out. If there was somebody that said, oh, thanks very much, I've already got a Kleeneze distributor and I'm really happy with them, they'll often wish you good luck because obviously they love the products themselves, but they'll say, no, thank you, I don't really want another catalogue. So you can cross that one off your list. So the second month, maybe you're delivering, of your 200 catalogues, say, you're delivering 20 to existing customers who ordered from you the first time and 180 to other houses. And out of those other houses, you will pick up orders. Now you might think, but hold on, why would somebody order from me the second time around when they didn't order the first time? Because the catalogue's probably exactly the same. There might be an extra, you might have an extra summer special, or it might have just been in the changeover of the catalogues or something, but generally it's going to be the same. And the reason is that there's all sorts of reasons why people don't get a chance to look through your catalogue the first time you put it through. If they work, if they've got family events on, they just don't have the time, so they put the catalogue out. And sometimes they're just saying, oh, I had a distributor a few months ago, but he didn't come around the second time. So they're just checking to see, is this new distributor going to be reliable? So maybe the second or the third time you put the catalogue round, they'll think, wow, this guy seems to be a bit more serious, so let's order from him now. So you might get then 10 orders from new customers out of your 180. You've already got 20 customers on this particular week, so again, you're getting, if you like, 20 customers plus an extra 10 each time you go out with your catalogues. So by the end of your second month, you might have 120 customers. And each week, you're delivering maybe 30 catalogues to customers and about 170 or more to other houses. Again, you've been to them in the past, they just haven't ordered from you yet. And again, you'll get orders from people who didn't order from you the first or the second time. So all you can do really then is carry on doing this. Keep delivering to people. Anybody who says I don't want any more, then cross them off your list. But just because somebody doesn't look at the catalogue or just because they don't order from you, keep delivering to them. So at the end of month 4, you might have 160 customers there. And so now, out of your 200 catalogues, hopefully you can see the pattern building up here. You're gradually delivering more and more of your catalogues to customers and less of them to people who haven't yet ordered from you. And you can carry on doing this for as long as you like. We recommend keep going back to the same houses, even if they haven't ordered from you yet, for 6 times. Because what you'll find, and I'll explain about this a bit more in a moment, just because somebody doesn't order from you for 6 months, when they do order, you'll find they start ordering from you a lot more frequently. It's not just, oh, this is the sort of person who's only going to order once every 6 months, is it worth my while? So, as I've said earlier, if you have somebody who says, oh, thanks very much, but I don't want a catalogue, or if they're just constantly throwing it away, then you cross those people off your list. If you keep putting a catalogue through the door of somebody who doesn't want one, they're just going to get frustrated and you're just going to lose catalogues. So you're just wasting their time and your time. As I said there, after 6 deliveries to each house, so this could easily take you 6 months, at that point, you've got some decisions to make. Normally, I would say people that haven't ordered from you, especially ones that haven't even looked at the catalogue, then now's the time to sort of cross those off your list and start to move to other areas to deliver your catalogues to. There are a couple of exceptions to that. If you've got a little cul-de-sac maybe and you've got a couple of customers on there and there's one of their neighbours who's looked at the catalogue 3 or 4 times, just hasn't ordered yet, then I think it's a good idea to keep delivering to that person, because one of the things that will happen is the customers who are ordering from you regularly, and if you're giving them good customer service and you're polite and friendly and saying hello to them regularly, they're going to start talking to their neighbours. So the person that didn't order but who's been looking at the catalogue regularly, after speaking to their neighbour and realising and finding out what a nice friendly person you are, you might then start getting an order from them. And as you're going up there anyway to deliver to the other two customers, it's not a huge, long way out of your way. If you were, if it was right at the end of a long road and you don't have any other customers up that way, then maybe then's a good time to cross that one off your list and use your time and your catalogues to find other customers. And I think it's a really good idea when you first start off, and it's much easier now with the dropship option, to place an order every single week. If you need to, pay a delivery charge. But as I said, you can do a dropship now. I'm not going to go into it in detail if you're not sure how to do a dropship yet, and you guys who have only just started may not. Speak to your sponsor. But doing a dropship is a way of if you're just building up your orders and it's taking you a while to get enough for the free delivery, then you can put a dropship in just so that you're not keeping your customers waiting for too long. And the importance of placing an order every week is that your customers want to realise that if they place an order, they get it delivered to them fairly quickly. If you've got customers who are placing an order and it's 3 weeks before you deliver to them, they're going to start thinking, oh, I'm not sure, I wanted to order something, but it's a gift for somebody and I probably won't get it in time. But if you're putting in orders every week and people are like putting the catalogue out on a Monday and you're delivering their goods to them on the Thursday or Friday, they're going to think, oh, this is so quick, it's brilliant. And they're going to order from you a lot more. As I've said there, customers really appreciate that prompt delivery. So, as I said earlier, depending on how much money you want to earn, after as many months as you want to keep going, you could have 800 customers. And if you were delivering 200 catalogues a week to 800 customers, so that's over your kind of 4-week period, your 200 catalogues, instead of at the beginning, if you remember, we were delivering maybe to 200 houses, we had no idea how many orders we were going to get. On average, if you have a good start, then you'll be getting about £1 per catalogue in orders. Often starts off a little bit below that, and then obviously as you kind of build up your customer base, you get up to the average and beyond. When you're delivering to your regular customers, you will be getting £5, £10 or more per customer, per catalogue, because you're just delivering to people who order from you regularly. So you become so much more efficient, and once you're at this point where you're only delivering to your customers, it's just it's such a good use of your time, and all that hard work that you've put in to get yourself to this point, this is where you'll get your rewards. And this is what I've said here. This is what you call your customer base. When you're just delivering to people who've ordered from you in the past, this is what we call your customer base. And basically, there's lots of benefits to this. Partly, obviously, the money you earn for the same amount of time, but also you just have fewer bad pickups. You lose hardly any catalogues because you're only delivering to people who put your catalogue out regularly and who order from you regularly. So it's a great place to get to. Okay, why would people order from us anyway? Can I just ask a quick question? For those of you, if you can remember, especially you guys who have just started recently, had you heard of Kleeneze when you first started? Good, thanks Carol. Anybody else remember when they first started, whether they had? Keel, brilliant, that's good, you'd obviously heard of it. Anybody else remember? Sue, yep, you'd heard of Kleeneze. I know I'd certainly had, my wife used to order. I think there's so many stories of people who had seen the catalogue. Yeah, Katrina, fantastic story. Great stories of people who've had the business, who've known about the business for a long time. What you will find is people will buy from you. Oh, hi Kay, nice to see you there. What you will find is people will buy from you at the beginning, just doing the catalogue side this is, even before they've met you, before they know your name, before they know anything about you, because they know the brand. They've heard of Kleeneze because their parents bought from us, their grandparents can have bought from you. It's a well-known and trusted brand. It was established in 1923, so over 90 years now. So one of the big benefits of being a Kleeneze distributor is people will recognise your catalogues even if they don't know you. But what happens is initially people buy from the catalogue because they know the brand. But once they bought from you, you go and meet them because you're delivering their goods to them, and you're reliable, you're polite, you're friendly, you're helpful, you get to know them, and they get to know you and like you. And what you'll find is that things change a little bit. What happens is they start buying from you instead of from the catalogue. And I hope you understand what I mean by that. Obviously, they're buying from the catalogue, but they become fiercely loyal to their distributor. Now, I know Sue Marshall, my sponsor, has been delivering to her customers for, oh, well, it was 9 years, I think, when I first started, and I've been in the business for 7 years now. And customers just stay loyal to you. There's stories of people joining the business and thinking, oh, well, this is great. I know my auntie always orders from Kleeneze, and auntie saying, well, yes, that's all very well, but John's been delivering to me for years, so I'm going to keep ordering from him. So they're fiercely loyal, and that's what you're going to try to build when you first start up. So how can we reinforce that? How can we reinforce that they get to know you and like you and trust you? So what we do, and this is just a name I'm using, and it'll become evident in a moment, but basically you're getting to know your customers, you're bonding with them. Quick question, I know some of you have been on this before, but what is everyone's favourite word? Yeah, Katrina, of course. When you have somebody as good looking as Ian, then you almost don't need the catalogue. Okay, everyone else? Their own name, Katrina says. Anybody else got any ideas? What is everybody's favourite word? Friendly, that's a nice word. Success, that's a good word, Amanda. Empathy, sympathising, yeah. Themselves, yeah, Werner and Peter. Some great suggestions there. I'm going to suggest to you that people's favourite word is their name. If you say, I like that, Kate. I know where you're coming from there. And people like to hear their name, kind of, because they get, their name sounds nice to them. They're obviously called it all the time, so people like to hear their name. And so what's really important is when you get to an order form back from a customer, mostly, or not all the time, but mostly, they will write their name and an address and contact details and so on the top. So when you get an order form from them, make sure you make a note in your round book when you're keeping your records of which houses you went to and whether they looked at the catalogue, who you got an order from and so on. Write down the customer name in your book. And I recommend you actually do it at that time when you pick the order form up. You're going, woo, just got myself an order, new customer. You can write their name down in your book at that point. And then when you're going back to obviously deliver the order to them, you can knock on the door. Oh, hello, Mr. Johnson. It's Chris from Kleeneze. I'm just delivering your order. And she's sort of, oh, yeah, hi, Chris. So she's starting to get to know your name. But the following month, and this is where I find it comes in really, really useful. The following month, when you're delivering the catalogue, as you're walking down the street, you might have 10 or 15 houses where you didn't get orders from last time. But you'll have an order for Mrs. Johnson, let's say, at number 27. So just check your notes, and as you're going up to it, if you happen to see Mrs. Johnson in the garden or washing the car or putting up out the washing or whatever she might be doing, or even just through the window, always just cheery wave. Oh, hello, Mr. Johnson, how are you? And the reason for this is I remember this very clearly. When I was doing an area once, I had a customer say to me, oh, thanks very much, but I already get a Kleeneze catalogue. And I knew that I delivered to her a month earlier and got an order from her, and that was the first time I got an order from her. So I was thinking, maybe she just doesn't recognise me or remember me. So I just sort of said, oh, hello, it was actually Mrs. Johnson. Hello, Mrs. Johnson, it's me, Chris. I delivered to you last month. And she said, oh, hi, Chris. I didn't recognise you there. I do apologise, and took the catalogue from me. It would have been easy if I wasn't sure who I was delivering to just think, there must be another distributor in the area. Okay, I better cross this person off my list and move on. And I might never have delivered a catalogue to that customer again. So just by kind of checking their name, saying hello, getting to kind of remember their name as you're getting to know them, you'll find that really, really powerful. And you should use their name every time you see them. So when you deliver an order to them, if you see them, if you have to knock on the door to collect a catalogue because they've forgotten to put it out, I always just knock on the door and say, oh, hi, Mr. Johnson, it's Chris from Kleeneze. Have you finished with the catalogue I dropped in? 9 times out of 10, they just say, oh, Chris, I'm really sorry. I've put it out here ready to put out and I just forgot. Again, you're just mentioning their name. You're kind of building that little bit of rapport with them. And often what you'll find is, depending on obviously the size of your town, if you're in the middle of London or Manchester, it might not be as frequent. But I live in a kind of a smallish market town, and I pretty much every time I go into town, I will see one of my customers in the shops, in a cafe, in the bank or something, And at the beginning, you're often thinking, oh, crikey, I know that lady. And you just can't quite sort of pick her name because you're used to seeing them on the doorstep, or you're normally reading your notes. But after a while, you get to know them. And you'll sort of say, oh, hi, Mr. Johnson. Hi, Mr. Smith. How are you? Oh, hello, Susie. How are things? And it's just a great way to reinforce that rapport with them. Another good thing to do is you will learn things about your customers. So, for example, when I'm delivering orders to my customers, I always ring them up before I go to deliver the order just to say, hi, Mr. Johnson, it's Chris from Kleeneze. Is it convenient to bring your order round? And sometimes they will say, oh, crikey, I'm sorry, I've just got back from hospital because my husband's had to go in for a checkup. Is it possible to do it tomorrow or something? So you say, oh, yes, of course. When you go back the next day, it's always worth just making a little note and just saying things like, oh, how's your husband? You said he was in for a checkup yesterday. Just kind of showing that you care and that you've got an interest in them. Because then they, if they're worried about something, or they, even if they just, oh yeah, he was fine, it was just a regular checkup, he goes every 6 months, but he's absolutely fine now. But you're showing them that you've got an interest in them and that you care, and that's really, really important. If they've got a dog, I mean, whether you like dogs or not, if I go to a customer and they've got a dog, I always pat the dog, say hello, and ask what the dog's name is. I can't remember how many dogs there are on my round, but pretty much I know the names of most of them. Because if they've got a dog, they love dogs. So if you see them with their dog, you love dogs as well, because you'll start to build that rapport with the customer because you've taken the trouble to remember the name of their dog or their children or their husband or whatever it is that might be important to them at the time you're talking to them. Another great thing to do is looking out for special occasions. So quite often, if you're going to a customer's door, you'll see some cards in the window. And I always ask people, oh, is it somebody's birthday? Now, sometimes